This $300 fanless board is running OpenClaw, a private cloud to back up all your files, a network-wide ad blocker, and a media server, all while consuming only 30 to 35% of CPU. A few weeks ago, I tried all of this on a Raspberry Pi 5 with a SSD NAS connected to it. And it just overheated so much that it was barely usable. In this video, I'm going to unbox this whole ZimaBoard 2 and set it up with the 8TB NVMe SSD, as you can see here, and set up a full home server running OpenClaw, Plex for media, PiHole, and Home Assistant. The Icewhale, the company who makes the famous ZimaBoard, recently sent me a bunch of packages to test out their ZimaBoard 2. So right now, let us unbox these packages one by one, see what they have, and let's share the impressions of the first time with you guys. Alright, so let us first open the main ZimaBoard 2. As you can see, it already has an opening latch, so really love the attention to details when company makes packaging so simple. So as soon as you open it, you see the Welcome to Zima Space logo. And as you complete opening the box, you basically are greeted with two main boxes. The first one already has a nice rubber band latch to it that you can pull this out, let's put it aside, and then there's also another accessories box. So these two are the main. So this is where the ZimaBoard 2 actually is. Let us actually open it. It also comes with a nice letter from Lauren, the founder of Icewhale, so that's really cool. I like these touches. Keeping this aside, so this is the ZimaBoard 2. I'm not gonna lie, this has some decent weight to it. And the reason behind that is because the whole thing is completely metallic, very well built, really nice feel. It's quite solid. But the good part is it still has a really small footprint, so I could like literally hold it in my hands. So that feels and looks really nice. So let's keep that. The other cool part about the box is it basically has places where you can put your 2.5-inch SATA ports. The ZimaBoard basically sits in here like this, and the 2.5 SATA ports just plugs in there, and you can like connect them directly. Let's keep that aside. Let's see what the accessories box comes with. So there's two pairs of screwdrivers, which is good. A bunch of SATA connectors. So my plan with this video is I will actually really build this up as my own primary home server. So if the SATA drives have been ordered, they should be on the way. And then there's a bunch of power connectors, I guess, depending on where you are in the world. So it should just work right out of the box. Cute little fan, which looks really cool. You can bear in mind, you can also operate it without the fan. It should work fanless, but it's good that they're also providing a fan. If your workload requires a lot of compute, then the fan might be useful for you. So let's keep that aside. And then there's the power brick, which is solid. It looks like a solid power brick. I'm glad that they're providing this, everything in the box. Okay, so one point to note in mind that the ZimaBoard doesn't come with any Wi-Fi adapter. You basically have to plug in Ethernet in one of the 2.5G Ethernet ports, which is an upgrade from their previous version. So we will have to plug in a wire to a router. Now let's open the other two boxes that they sent me. Oh wow. Okay, so this is their, I guess, their hard drive bay. You can stack in your 2.5-inch hard drives in here. And the SATA connectors. They have also provided a nice... Alright, last but not the least is this final package. Let's see what that has. Oh, I think this is the NVMe adapter that goes in the side. So the good part of the ZimaBoard is you have a PCIe slot here where you can basically put in your different PCIe accessories. Not only you can put in extra NVMe SSDs using the adapter, but you could also literally plug in let's say a 10 gig port if you wanted to, a 10 gig NIC. You could also add graphics card as well, and that is something I will experiment with in the upcoming videos. So this is basically you can put in your NVMe SSDs over here. So this is how the fan actually installs. So this is how it looks like once it's fully assembled. So as you can see, this is the fan which basically mounts along with this. By the way, there are multiple
YouTube videos that actually show you how to assemble one of these, so I'm not going to spend time doing that. But this is how it connects to actually with the board. And this is basically the adapter wire for us to plug in the NVMe SSD bay. So here you can connect up to 2 NVMe SSDs. I just have one 8TB one. The other NVMe SSD of mine is actually chilling over here. This is my Pi NAS that I made in an earlier video. Should be flashing up and also should be in the description. The ZimaBoard itself is this guy, as I already showed. This basically sits on top of this rack, and inside this rack you can basically put in two 2.5-inch SATA hard drives or SSDs. For now, I've left it blank, but my plan is to upgrade this entire thing and stack them with actually slow hard drives here and some fast SSDs over here. That's kind of my plan. I could also leave this blank if in the future I happen to install some GPUs for offloading some local edge AI stuff, but for now I just have the NVMe thing connected.
So let's talk about what's actually inside this. The brain is an Intel 150 quad-core x86 processor, and that x86 part actually matters because unlike an ARM chip like in the Raspberry Pi, x86 means native compatibility with basically every Docker container and pretty much every AI model out there. No workarounds. No, this image doesn't support ARM nonsense. You also have dual port 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, massive for a NAS. Dual SATA, 3 ports for hard drives, 2 USB 3.1, a mini DisplayPort at 4K, and then there's the kicker, the PCIe 3, which is what I'm most excited about. Here is the Pi 5 next to it. 8 gigs of RAM versus 16 gigs of DDR5. ARM chip versus x86 Intel chip. No real PCIe versus a full ×4 slot. 5 watts versus, well, 10 watts. Still completely silent, still fanless. Yes, I just decided to slap on the fan, but you don't really need it. But the gap in what you can actually run on these two boards, well, it's not even close. And all of this, your files, your AI, your data, none of it has to ever leave your house. All right, let me show you what I'm really excited about. I have got an 8TB NVMe SSD. This PCIe adapter takes 2 M.2 drives. So you could even run a mirrored RAID setup. And there's the whole build. No cable mess, no separate case. Just plug in the HDMI for initial setup.
Board is booting for the first time, so it's like a typical like non-GUI kind of interface. By the way, this actually works on ZimaOS, which is based on CasaOS. It's a very famous sort of operating system for home servers. So that's what it's based on. I have just connected the HDMI, micro HDMI, and there you go. It's kind of the first boot, and it's trying to search for a network address, which it will not be able to find right now because I just do not have any Ethernet connected. For that, I have to actually take this close to my router and connect the Ethernet, and hopefully we should be able to access this. So as you can see, I've connected the 2.5G port onto the 2.5G to ensure the fastest capability that this board can provide, and I'm gonna plug it in and then we'll go back to the terminal and see how this works. So needless to say, you have to basically find the IP address of the ZimaBoard, and once you do that, you can then go to your browser, paste in the IP address, and then of course you have to punch in your login details for the first time.
This is Icewhale's custom Linux-based OS. It runs Docker under the hood, but gives you a web dashboard so you can access it from anywhere. From my laptop, here's why ZimaOS really comes through. Over 370 apps and everything installed with just one click. No terminal, no YAML files. Alright, so if you have been watching my channel, you know that I've been running OpenClaw on Raspberry Pis, on 10-year-old mobile phones, and a bunch of other hardware. It kind of works, but over time, when you keep building up your system, it kind of gets slower. And you could fix it through clever software prompting, but it's not a sustainable solution in my opinion. I think makes the whole ecosystem a lot more powerful. And also if you can bundle that up with a bunch of other services, for example, Home Assistant, Plex, PiHole, all running within the same ecosystem, it just makes OpenClaw so much more powerful. So right now we'll see how to install it on the ZimaBoard too. All right, so let's install the OpenClaw app. So you can easily find this on the ZimaOS App Store. Basically what it installs is a Docker image and configures OpenClaw onto it. But you have to go in and you put in your all of your API keys to actually make it work. But the cool part is there is a step-by-step written instruction on the ZimaOS docu page where you can literally just go there. They have screenshots, they have all sorts of commands that you can follow, and then you can literally copy and paste that and just go ahead. That's exactly what I'm doing. And then it's your typical OpenClaw setup that I have shown many times on my channel before. You have to configure your API keys for the primary model provider, which I always go with Kimi K2.5. I find it's a good balance of cost and performance. And then of course setting up your channels. You could also set up your skills here. And for the channel, yeah, it's always easy to go with Telegram. So you go to the bot father, create a new bot, name it, and paste in the API key that you get from there. And that's how you basically set up OpenClaw with Telegram. And it's the same process. So I'm just speeding things up. Of course, you have to then take the pairing code and then basically go to your terminal and approve pairing. Here I am also installing PiHole, which is a network-wide DNS ad blocker, and it's working fine. The cool part about using OpenClaw basically has access to all of the files that I choose to back up on this NAS. That way I can choose to not upload the most sensitive of files, but yet keep the files that I use a lot for my research purposes. Hey, this was just an unboxing, an initial setup, and quick walkthrough of the ZimaBoard 2. I genuinely did not expect the jump from a Pi to this board to be so dramatic. x86, 16 gigs of DDR5, PCIe expansion, two dual 2.5G Ethernet, and all fanless running under 10 watts is really hard to beat. And all for $300, that is hard to argue with. In today's time where the price of a Pi 5 is rising up so much, it's just a better option to give the ZimaBoard 2 a quick try. If you want to grab one, the link is in the description. I will keep adding more stuff such as hard drives and basically turn this into a full-fledged home server. If you have any questions regarding this, please let me know in the comments. What else would you like me to install on my ZimaBoard 2 server? I'd love to hear what you guys want me to try. Until then, keep building, and I will catch you guys in the next one really soon.